Hello everyone, I'm Ekaterina and the grammar topic that we're going to focus on today is called gerunds and infinitives. So today we will learn which verbs are used with gerunds and which verbs are used with infinitives. Let's get started, and for a start I'd like to give you an example. Here you will see 4 tips of how to become a successful entrepreneur. So becoming a successful entrepreneur is a topic of this slide. Tip number 1. Consider writing a business plan. A formal business plan is necessary to show yourself and your partners. Tip number 2. Be careful with investments. Don't try to invest a lot of money after getting some initial success. 3. Find your target audience. The age, gender, and income of your target group will play a large role in your business. Be prepared to research which group fits your model best. Avoid taking risks. Learn how to identify which risks are worth taking, and you will learn how to be successful. In all these tips, you see the examples of gerunds and infinitives. So, what is a gerund? A gerund is the ing form of a verb used as a noun. Taking is the gerund form of the verb take. Gerunds are always used with the ing ending. What's an infinitive? An infinitive is the to plus simple form of a verb, to invest. That's the infinitive form of the verb, invest. So, what are the examples that we have here? Consider writing. Writing is a gerund and it follows the verb consider. Necessary to show. To show is an infinitive and it follows the word necessary. Try to invest. To invest, again, an infinitive, and it follows the verb try. Or which risks are worth taking. Worth taking. Taking is a gerund which follows a phrase. Worth doing something. This is how we use it. So today I will explain all the rules of using gerunds and infinitives to you. Let's continue. Now, when to use gerunds? We use gerunds as a subject of a sentence. Look at this example. Wearing fashionable clothes is not important. So as I told you, wearing, that's the subject of the sentence. That's a gerund. We know that it's a subject because it answers the question, what is not important? Not having a job is frustrating. Not having is the subject of this sentence. We know it, because when we ask the question, what is frustrating, we understand that not having a job, not having is the subject of this sentence. So we can use gerunds in the negative form as well by adding not at the before the gerund itself. Please pay attention to the verb. We use verbs in singular with the gerund form, okay? Is not important. Not are, but is. Is frustrating. We can also use gerunds as a subject complements. Now, complement is something that completes subject. My favorite pastime activity is watching movies. So watching is the subject complement. So it's a subject complement because it follows this verb, the verb to be. That's why we call it the subject complement. So not only a subject but also a subject complements. Her biggest dream is starting a business based on her passion. What else? We also use gerunds after certain verbs. Now, what are those verbs? We have a list of verbs which are followed by gerunds. Yeah? Well, the only way to remember those verbs is to use those verbs, is to practice using those verbs, is to learn them by heart. Yeah, pay attention to those verbs when you see them in texts. We consider going abroad next year. He admits not paying attention to the lesson. She avoided looking me in the eye. So we do not use infinitives with these verbs, but only gerunds. Don't risk losing your job. I suggest reading more English short stories. So we cannot say, I suggest to read, okay? No, I suggest reading more English short stories. You can find the list of the verbs in your handouts, and yeah, you can find them on the internet everywhere. Just if you Google verbs followed by gerunds, that will be enough. Also, in every good English dictionary, you can find the information about the verb, whether it is a gerund or an infinitive. Like in this dictionary, that's from a Longman dictionary online. Consider, yeah? Consider is followed by an ing form, not an infinitive. Consider doing something. So in a dictionary, in any good dictionary, you can find the information about gerunds and infinitives. Just you should know about it. Okay, what are some other cases? We can also use gerunds after some prepositions. Well, especially such prepositions as about, in, for, of, without. Look at these examples. Are you interested in working for us? Yeah. So verbs with prepositions are always followed by gerunds, not by infinitives. So we cannot use to here, but we use a gerund form of the verb. I'm not good at learning languages. Yeah. Interested. It's an adjective. I'm sorry, not a verb. Kate must be fed up with studying. What are the advantages of having a car? Thanks very much for inviting me to the party, to your party. How about meeting for lunch tomorrow? So all these prepositions are always followed by the gerund form of the verb. Fiilimsi, right? Gerund in Turkish means fiilimsi. We can also use gerunds after certain expressions. Now, what are those expressions? You can see them on the right here. There's no point in doing something. It's no use. It's no good doing something. Spend or waste time doing something. It's worth or not worth doing something. And we also say busy doing something or have fun if you have good time doing something. Look at the examples. It's no good trying to persuade him. He won't come. I will be busy helping my dad all Saturday. Don't waste your time watching the film. It's awful. There is no point in waiting anymore. He won't come. So all these expressions are used with the gerund form of the verb, not with the infinitive form. So you should just remember these expressions and how to use them. If it's not scary, it is not worth doing. That's a citation, which can help you to remember the expression not worth doing something. DMS. Be used, get used to. That's another expression, that's another grammatical form which is used with gerunds. Be used to doing something or get used to doing something. Be used to doing something, it means being accustomed to do something. Now, what are the examples? I'm used to living alone. So it basically means in Turkish, yalnız yaşamaya alışkınım. Alışkın olmak. People in Britain are used to driving on the left. Yeah. So British people are accustomed to drive on the left. Helen has a new job. She has to get up much earlier now than before at 6:30. She finds this difficult because she isn't used to getting up so early. Bu kadar erken kalkmaya alışkın değil. Isn't used to getting up early. So we use this form with the ing form of the verb. Get used to doing something. Bir şeye yapmaya alışmak. This is what you use in Turkish for that. It's used to talk about the process of something becoming familiar to us. I didn't understand the accent when I first moved here, but I quickly got used to hearing it. Başta aksanı anlayamadım ama zamanla alıştım. Bunu duymaya alıştım. I've just started my new job and I'm still getting used to working night shifts. İşe yeni başladım ama geceleri çalışmaya alıştım. Evet, alışıyorum. Yeah. This is the meaning. This is what you use in Turkish for be used to and get used to. Just remember to use them with gerunds. Okay, that's all about the gerund forms. Now, what about infinitives? When do we use verbs with to? We can use infinitives also as a subject complement. Her goal is to finish university in time. What's her goal? Yeah, to finish. That's a subject complement followed by the verb to be. What I need is to get some fresh air. When I was a child, my ambition was to be an architect. Yeah. Küçükken benim hayalim mimar olmaktı. Okay. We also use infinitives to express purpose. İçin, right? In Turkish you say için for that. You'll go to İzmir to attend a conference. İzmir'e konferansa katılmak için gidecek. To attend. That's to speak about purpose. To do what? Yeah, why is he going there? To do what? Sam went to the bank to get some money. Bankaya para almak için gitti. So that's the purpose, and we use to with purposes. Yeah, so it's not followed by any verbs, but we want to express purpose, why we're doing it. I listen to podcasts in English to improve my listening skills. Yeah, why do I listen to those podcasts? To improve my listening skills. For example, I listen to 6-minute English grammar, the English we speak, or the Science Hour podcasts to improve my listening skills, or in order to improve my listening skills. Infinitives are also used after object pronouns. Now, what's an object pronoun? So we have a verb, we have an object plus to, yeah, and plus the second verb. You will understand it now from these examples. I would like you to help me with the housework. You is the object pronoun. She recommended us to come earlier. Can you remind me to call Sam tomorrow? They don't allow people to park in front of the building. So these words in blue, pronouns in blue, are object pronouns, and they are followed by infinitives always. Not by gerunds, but by infinitives. Adjectives. Yeah, we use infinitives after certain adjectives. Such adjectives as afraid, determined, anxious, pleased, careful, prepared. These adjectives express feelings or attitudes about the action in the infinitives. Usually they are connected with feelings. They express how we feel about some situations, about the action. I'm reluctant to go with them. She's afraid to go out. I was annoyed to hear that he had left. You were clever not to believe them. So adjective is followed by the infinitive form. Yeah, she's afraid to go out. Dışarı çıkmaktan korkuyor. Yeah, I was annoyed to hear that he had left. Onun ayrılmasını duyunca kızdım. Yeah, I was annoyed. Üzüldüm, kızdım. Something like that. I'm reluctant to go with them. She's afraid to go out. I was annoyed to hear that he had left. You were clever not to believe them. The adjectives are followed by the infinitive form of the verbs. Well, especially these adjectives. Yeah, she's afraid to go out. Dışarı çıkmaktan korkuyor. So it's not the same with Turkish, yeah. So do not think, try not to think in Turkish about this grammatical topic, because it's not like you don't use it like this in Turkish. If you are determined to learn, nothing can stop you. Yeah? Determined to learn. Use the infinitive form of the verb here, because we have determined, yeah, the adjective. Like with gerunds, we also use infinitives after certain verbs. You can find the list of the verbs online in different course books. So they are available, these verbs are available everywhere. The best way, again, to remember them is to use them, to practice using those verbs in your speech. He can't afford to buy a new car, so afford is always followed by a verb with to. She decided to move to another city. He promised to help us with the decorations. We decided not to go out because of the weather. How old were you when you learned to drive? Learn is followed by the verb with to. Yeah, decided, again, decide is followed by an infinitive. So when you have two verbs, you must know which should follow a verb or an infinitive after that. Please look at the negative form. If you have a negative form, you should add not before the infinitive form of the verb. We decided not to go out because of the weather. Prefer, would prefer, or would rather. We use prefer with infinitives, sometimes with gerunds, we say I prefer something. Yeah, about nouns, I prefer coffee to tea. Yeah, so I like coffee more than tea. That's the meaning. Or you can say I prefer drinking coffee to drinking tea. So I like drinking coffee more than drinking tea. She prefers to drink coffee rather than drink tea. Yeah, rather than is we use it with the infinitive form of the verb. But you can use prefer to do or prefer doing something when we speak about preferences in general. Would prefer to do something. Yeah, would prefer to do something than or rather than do something. Or we can also say would rather do something than do something else. I would prefer to stay at home tonight rather than or than to go out. I would rather stay at home tonight than go out. So in Turkish, you can say something like bu gece dışarı çıkmaktansa evde kalmayı tercih ederim. So would rather, prefer, well, would prefer. We use them for preferences, tercih, right? Preference means tercih in Turkish. We can also say I'd rather, so I would rather you did something. Shall I stay here? I'd rather you came with us. Do you mind if I smoke? I'd rather you didn't. So I'd rather you came with us in Turkish would mean something like bizimle gelmeni tercih ederim. Right? So again, it's about your preferences. And the meaning here is, by the way, present or future. So it's not about the past. We use the past form here, I'd rather you did, yeah, but the meaning is in the present. Tercih ederim, bizimle gelmeni tercih ederim veya sigara içmemeni tercih ederim. Keşke içmesen. To and enough is also used with infinitives. So how do we use it? We use it with adjectives. Too heavy to carry. This box is too heavy to carry, like in the picture. So the box is too heavy, nobody can carry it. That's the meaning. We use it, yeah, you can see that the sentence, that's an affirmative sentence, but the meaning of the sentence is negative, yeah, nobody can carry it. She's too young to get married, yeah, so she's very young, she cannot get married at this age. The meaning is a negative one, but the sentence is affirmative, so too plus adjective and plus the infinitive form has a negative meaning. Enough. What about enough? It's also used with infinitives. She's experienced enough to do this job. So it means she has enough experience to do this job. Bu işi yapmak için tecrübesi var. Yeteri kadar tecrübesi var. He's not tall enough to be a basketball player. It means that he needs to be taller to be a basketball player. Yeah, not tall enough. Yeteri kadar boyu yok. Right? Yeteri kadar uzun değil. This is what we are trying to say. And these expressions, to and enough, are used with infinitives. Look at these sentences. Compare these sentences. This car is too small to take 5 people. This car is not big enough to take 5 people. So you can say either of these sentences. The meaning is the same. I'm too shy to talk back to him. I'm not courageous enough to talk back to him. So not enough or too. Again, these two sentences have the same meaning. Negative meaning. Also, there is a form which is called bare infinitive. The preposition to is not used in this case. You know that we do not use the preposition to with modals. You must take a break, for example. Yeah, must, should, can, could. Yeah, we don't use the preposition to with modals. Also, we do not use to after the verbs let, make, and help. He made the student take a break. Well, make in this case means zorla, right? Öğrenciyi zorla teneffüse gönderdi. She didn't let him meet his friends. He always makes her tidy up her room. Karen helped me carry the boxes. So let, make, and help, these verbs are used with the infinitive form. She didn't let him meet his friends. Arkadaşlarıyla buluşmaya izin vermedi. So sometimes we can translate it as ettirgen fiili, right, in Turkish, and sometimes we don't need that form to translate it into Turkish. He always makes her tidy her room. Odasını temizletmek, değil mi? Odasını ona temizletiyor. Okay. If we summarize, we can say that gerunds and infinitives are used in the following cases. We can use gerunds as a subject complement after certain verbs, prepositions, some expressions, and after be used to and get used to. With infinitives, we again can use them as a subject complement. We use them to express purpose. We also use them after certain verbs like gerunds and after certain adjectives. We also use them with would prefer, would rather, and with to and enough. There are also some verbs which can be used with both infinitives, well, in the infinitive and in the gerund form. However, there is a change in meaning in those verbs. Now let's look at some of those verbs now and study the examples. Remember, forget, and regret. Now if we use these verbs with, in the gerund form, what does that mean? In the gerund form, we refer to something that has already happened. I remember locking the door. Yeah, I remember something that happened in the past. Kapıyı kapattığımı hatırlıyorum, right? Kapıyı kapattığımı hatırlıyorum. I'll never forget visiting Paris. Yeah. Again, something that happened in the past and you still remember it. I regret shouting at my sister. Yeah. I'm very sorry that I did that I shouted at my sister in the past. But what happens when we use it with to? We use it with to when we remember, forget, or regret something before doing it. I'll remember to buy some bread. Yeah, I will try not to forget to buy some bread. Ekmek almayı hatırlamaya çalışacağım. Don't forget to call me Beni aramayı unutma, right? I regret to say that I won't come to the bowling alley tonight. Yeah. So this is how the meaning changes, yeah, depending on the situation. What about the verb try? Again, we can use it both with the infinitive and with the in the infinitive and in the gerund form. What about the gerund? We use this form to express that we will experiment on something. Now here's a situation. Yeah, a patient is talking to her doctor, and the doctor says, "Try sleeping for a while. It might make your headache go away." So the doctor recommends to sleep, her to sleep, yeah? She recommends her, yeah, to do it to see if it has any effects. She proposes a method. I didn't like the way the furniture was arranged, so I tried moving the table to the other side of the room. Yeah. Again, I experimented on it. Yeah. When it's an experiment, we use ing form, the ing form. What about the infinitive form? We use this form when we want to state that we will make an effort to do something. I'm very busy, but I'll try to come to your house for dinner tonight. Yeah. So I'll try to do something. I'll try to come to your house. I was very tired. I tried to keep my eyes open, but I couldn't. Please try to be quiet when you come home. Everyone will be asleep. Lütfen sessiz olmaya çalış. Try to be quiet. Yeah? I tried to keep my eyes open. Gözlerimi açmaya çalıştım, right? Stop. Again, it can have two different meanings depending on the form. We use the gerund form, for an action that was stopped and did not repeat it. Glenn stopped smoking 2 years ago. Sigarayı bıraktı. So it doesn't continue anymore. When we use it with the infinitive form, in the infinitive form, we use it for an action that was interrupted but probably continued afterwards. We don't know that for sure. Kate stopped to drink a cup of coffee on her way home. Kahve içmek için eve giderken durdu. Ya, kahve içmeye gitti. So she stopped and she drank her coffee and then she continued going home. Mean. When we use it in the gerund form, we want to state what the result of an action will be. Being a parent means having a lot of responsibilities, means having. Okay? If you take that job in London, it will mean traveling for 2 hours. So in Turkish, you would say something like, o işi alman her gün yolda 2 saat geçirmen demektir. It will mean traveling for 2 hours every day. If we use it with to, with in the infinitive form, it means that we are speaking about an intention or a plan. I don't mean to hurt you by criticizing, but it's for your own sake. I meant to return the books on time. I mean to finish this job by the end of the week. Like I want to finish this job by the end of the week. Hedeflemek. Right? Ben bu işi hafta sonuna kadar bitirmeyi hedefliyorum. Or I meant to return, like I wanted to return the books on time. So two different meanings of the verb depending on its form. Need has the same situation. If we use it in the gerund form, yeah, we use it with a passive meaning usually. Our house needs cleaning, yeah. So which means we need to clean the house or somebody else will come and clean our house. Your hair needs cutting. So your hair should be cut. This is what we are saying. When we use it with the infinitive form, we use it to express necessity. I need to clean the house before the guests arrive. I need to make a phone call. Sometimes people need to be told the truth. Right. I hope this meaning is clear. And now a few exercises for practice. In this exercise, you must rewrite the sentences using the word in capitals. Please do the exercise on your own at first. Pause the video now. I hope you finished doing the exercise, and let's read the sentences. I often find rocks that aren't really fossils. I keep finding rocks that are not fossils. Keep is used with the verb ing. It is followed by a gerund, always. When you look for fossils on a cliff, you could fall. You risk falling down when you look for fossils on a cliff. Risk doing something. You have to get up early to go on to go on the club trip. Going on the club trip means getting up early. Yeah, demektir. This is the meaning of the verb. It is called I can't sit outside for too long. It is not hot enough to sit outside for too long. Don't take up a hobby unless you're serious about it. It's not worth taking up a hobby unless you're serious about it. Worth is used with not worse or worse doing something with the verb with plus ing. How much food is there? Can we feed? How much food is there? Can we feed everyone? Is there enough food to feed everyone? In this exercise, you should decide which is right, in infinitive form or a gerund form. Please pause the video now. Okay, I hope you've got the answers. Let's look at them together. These clothes are dirty. They all need washing. Yeah, this is the passive form, the passive meaning. They all need to be washed. 3. My grandmother isn't able to look after herself anymore. She needs looking after. Yes, she needs someone who will be looking after her. 4. I can't make a decision right now. I need to think about it. Yeah, that's a necessity. Your hair is getting very long. It will need cutting soon. Again, that's a passive meaning. I need a change. I need to go away for a while. The necessity. 7. That shirt looks fine. You don't need to iron it. 8. That shirt looks fine. It doesn't need ironing. Yeah, actually, the meaning of these two sentences is the same, but just the last sentence has the passive meaning. It doesn't matter who irons it. Right, okay. And for this exercise, you should put the verb in the correct form, to or ing. Yeah, you can go back to the list of the verbs used with infinitives or gerunds. Please try to do the exercise on your own first. Pause the video now. Right, I hope you've done the exercise. Let's look at number 2. I've decided to look for another job. Decide is used with infinitive. I'm not going anywhere. I refuse to move. Refuse to do something. I'm not in a hurry. I don't mind waiting. Tina ran in a marathon last week, but she failed to finish. I wish that dog would stop barking. It's driving me crazy. Would stop, yeah? Keşke havlamasa. Would stop barking. They didn't know I was listening to them. I pretended to be asleep, pretend to do something. We were hungry, so I suggested having dinner early. Suggest doing something. 9. Hurry up, I don't want to risk missing the train. Risk doing something. David is very quiet. He tends not to say much. Thank you for doing the exercises with me. And at the end of this video, I hope you know which verbs to use with infinitives, which of them to use with gerunds, and which and how the meaning of some some verbs changes depending on their form. Thank you for watching the video and see you later.